Bonjour, Kitamagi Nene Ireland Indigenous, and welcome to today's Social Studies Explorer. Today's issue, Public Issues, Day 2. In our previous session, we talked a little bit about how issues can be local, statewide, or national. We focused a little bit on sharing of water between the Great Lakes. And now today we're going to get into day 2. And you have in front of you different pieces of data. You have a data sheet number 1, 2, and 3, and 4, along with some arguments in favor and against mandatory school uniforms. So I'm going to highlight a little bit of the data, just kind of talk about what we're dealing with, and then you will be asked to complete a task using the paper in front of you. It will not be available via Google Form. The Long Beach Unified School District was the first school district to enact a mandatory uniform policy. The dress code policy affects nearly 16,000 elementary and middle school students. So now we start seeing some of the results. And information that goes with it. We see results from Norfolk, an interview with principals, some advantages and disadvantages. And going through here, interview with principals, uniform manufacturer. So we're starting to see a variety of people that are going to have an opinion. Regional responses. And the orange is yes, and the red is no. How students react as far as being competitive for clothing. Some arguments in favor and arguments against. What I'm going to ask you to do today is spend some time actually reading them. Then I want you to start leaning towards whether you think we should mandate school uniforms or whether we shouldn't. Now, a caveat is I want you to use the data. So if you're thinking no, because I don't want to have to wear a uniform, but you find 28 pieces of information that support why we should, that doesn't make a good response later on. Because then next week, you're going to actually start planning a response via an opinion page. You're going to be, so what you want to do today is read it all, decide where you stand, and remember to take yourself out of it. Don't use your emotions. Your opinion can be part of it, but don't let that shape the entire thing. And then I want you to kind of go through and star some information that you might use later. Now, should you start everything? No. Find the important things that kind of support your yes or no view. You will have a different opportunity to work with this in an upcoming session. And I'll kind of give you a peek of that upcoming session. As I'll scroll down here. A writing plan, yes or no, reference to the data, and you have the data in front of you right now. You'll have to kind of make a reference to core democratic value and your reasons. And then you will write a brief essay. So this will take up a couple days in our upcoming social studies plan, going into the week after next. So what do you have to do to prove that you did this? Well, if you're in class, when you're done, you're going to make sure your name's on it, and you're going to just simply turn it in, and you'll get it right back once I check that you've found stuff that supports your point of view. I'll probably glance at it, and if I see a lot of things that go against your view, we'll discuss it. If you're at home, just because you're absent for a day, you can bring this paper in for our next session just to have it checked in. If you're at home, you can show me during one of our Zooms, and we could even do a breakout room if that's what's necessary for you. All right, so at this point, you're going to spend some time looking at the data for the remainder of this class period, and we'll move on from there. Have a minute, Gijiga. Minwa, Pamapi.